Hang on, I'll break into song. I'll take a couple of questions, but I'm not going to sort of add too much. I wanted to make it sort of brief and succinct. Look, it's really in any relationship when it breaks down, you just got to get to a point where you either live in sort of bitter recrimination and continue on with it, or you get out of it. And I think that's what I'm doing today. Is I'm getting out of it. It's the right of the party to pick their leaders, and you've got to respect that. And if you can't have an effective working relationship with them, then it's your responsibility to your nation and what you do to either get out of the building or to find a more effective way to do your job. And I suppose that's what I'm doing today. I don't pretend to be a sort of a Delphic oracle of what happens in the future. I don't know. You just try to do the best. But it's after 30 years in the National Party, it's certainly not a decision I took lightly. It's not as if I fell over at the first hurdle. I've been trying to work my way through this for a long period of time, say a couple of years, and I've just, there seemed no real resolution to the breakdown in the relationship, and therefore, the smartest thing to do is move on.
Mr. Joyce, are you going to One Nation?
I haven't made that decision yet. I've made a decision.
Will we hear a decision?
Well, I don't know. I haven't made that decision.
Have you left the National Party, or did
Yes,
the
I
National
have.
Party leave you?
Oh, I don't know. The membership of the National Party are wonderful people, and that's what hurts me so much. I mean, walking away from the party in Canberra is easy. Walking away from membership is very, very, very hard. And so it's just quite obvious. And you would have seen it. When they talk about generational change, that's code for get out of here. I don't think I have had a question in there for the last 1.5 years. I mean, you just got to read all the messages, and where you sit, quite obviously, is a metaphor. And I actually was asked directly to leave, and so you get to a point where you think, am I just going to continue on being the discordant note, or am I going to get out? That's smart. Peter Dutton twice.
Asked you to leave the party.
Has Susan Lee asked you anything similar?
No, of course not.
Do you feel that it will make it more difficult for you to retain your seat?
I'm not standing for New England again. I've said that.
Bridget McKenzie says you've trashed your legacy by leaving.
Oh, well, they're entitled to do that.
What do you say to National Party supporters who campaigned for you and who, when they voted Barnaby Joyce, thought they were voting for the Nationals and the coalition by extension?
Very good question. I'm not standing for New England again, so I'm not becoming, I'm not sort of taking New England into an independent seat. I'm handing it over, and I'm actually doing it with a lot of money that I've brought into the bank for them to actually campaign with. And I can't do much more than that. You can say, I will serve out my term to the best of my abilities, and that's what I'm going to do.
One Nation says that we believe, would offer you a Senate seat in New South Wales at the next election. Does standing for the Senate again for One Nation at the next election remain?
I'm certainly considering that. Okay, strongly considering it.
Sorry, Barnaby, I missed the beginning. Are you an independent now?
I've resigned from the National Party.
National Party, which means you're sitting as an independent.
I wanted to get. I left it to this day because I just wanted to get out of the building.
Why? What are you still considering in terms of the next step? This
I don't
is a
know.
plan you've been talking about for months with Pauline.
Yeah.
Why not just be honest about what your next move is?
Because I haven't made that decision. Why do you try and verbal me? I haven't made that decision yet.
What are you weighing up?
That's up to me.
You said at one point about a month ago you didn't want to sit as an independent, that you believe in the party
that's right.
mechanics. So is your determination to find a political home before Parliament sits next year?
I'm still weighing up all opportunities. Like it might be in business, might be out.
And so did you consider resigning, pumping a by-election, and if not, why not?
No, because I said at the start that I wouldn't. They've asked me at the start in New England, would you resign during this term? I think a lot of people in New England knew that this would be my last. I've made it quite clear to lots of people in New England that this is my last term in New England.
Tony Abbott called you the best retail politician in Australia. You're a former Deputy Prime Minister. The prospect of joining a fringe party with someone like Pauline Hanson, isn't that a bit weird?
Not really. I haven't done that, but the world's changing. You're back in. You take it in 1975. We're talking about Gough Whitlam. 102 out of the 127 seats were won on primaries, solidly on primaries. The last election, 11 out of 150 were won on primaries. The world's changed. Politics has changed. The way people get media has changed. Your job's changed. You know, they're going online. It's different. It's echo chambers. And you can't rage against it and say, oh, well, they're all going to come back and read broadsheets and that's it. It's all changed, and you can either change with it or get run over by
So
it.
it's a new era for One Nation.
I think it's a new era for everybody, isn't it?
And so regarding
Sorry?
you know, you have a family been here a long time,
Yeah.
you would run hypothetically for One Nation, but even otherwise, how much longer do you see yourself being
I
in
don't know.
politics just broadly? Do you see a few
I don't
years?
know.
I mean, the Senate term's a long time. Would
I don't
you say
know.
that the whole term?
I don't know. See,
Now you're outside the coalition tent. Presumably you can be pretty frank about
I've been kind of outside of it for a little bit of a while, to be quite frank. Yeah.
But now you're outside. Do you have genuine fears for the future, particularly of the Liberal Party, but also perhaps the Nationals? Is this existential?
Tim, I think that what I said before, it's, you know, the polling. You have a look at the polling. Everything's changing, and it's changing around the world, Tim. It's changing everywhere. I mean, have a look what's happening in England. Have a look what's happening in France. Whether it's Farage, whether it's Le Pen, whether it's Milano, whether it's unfortunately AFD, which I think is very insidious. Whether it's the MAGA movement within the Republican Party. Whether it's what's happening in Holland. The world's changing, and I think Australia is actually last to it. You know, it's just that with compulsory voting, it's a little bit more sticky here, but it's changing because how people get their information is changing.
So this is the existence of the parties that's at issue.
I think we're seeing that in other places. I think you've got to be really diligent, and one of the problems I think there has been in the coalition is all the time we said, oh, they've got to win back Teal seats, you've got to win back Teal seats, you've got to win back Teal seats. And what was happening, people, especially in regional, they say, if that's what you want to focus on, we're gone. Like, if you want to know, there are more One Nation members now in Tamworth than there are National Party members.
Barnaby, it sounds like you're still considering One Nation.
Yeah, I'm considering it. That's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm considering it.
What's appealing about One Nation?
I think it's just getting yourself... I think that it'd be really hard for the coalition to win the next election. I hope they do, but I think it's going to be really difficult from where they are. And therefore, in the House, especially if you're sort of on the outer, you're not relevant. You're just discordant voice at the best. We got somewhere with net zero, but I think that'll be about it. And I think in the Senate, just to finish the question, I think in the Senate, you've got more capacity in the committee system, and also the numbers, I reckon, in the Senate will be tighter after the election. And because they're tighter after the election, I think you have more effect to have an effect. Okay, now guys, I'm going to do like 2 more questions, and I've been fair, I've come out, and then I'm going,
Can I
okay?
follow up with that? What's the
That's one question of the colleagues.
What's the policy appeal of One Nation? Not the logistics, but the policy.
I think it's the appeal also of the Senate of just review and amend legislation, and you'd have to come to me on each piece of legislation and say, what are your views? I've done the Senate before, 8 years, 7 months and a day. I know the job.
Does the Burger stunt that Pauline Hanson pulled give you any pause to thought about joining One Nation?
Look, I'll leave Pauline to discuss that. It's not, that's not my remit.
Barnaby,
do you feel
Okay.
you've made the right decision?
What's that?
Do you feel like you've made the right decision?
You've only just arrived here, haven't you?
Your colleagues have questioned whether there's anything financially driving you.
No.
As the suggestion there is a bit more money. And if I could ask a
Not
lot
really. No, that's completely wrong.
Yeah,
Look, my family's also in business, right? And we're cattle producers. Take it from me, it's not the money here. I mean, the money here is great. Never complain about it, but I'm not. It's not like I'm not like at the backside out of my pants.
When you were here and you got the leadership a few years ago, I was in this courtyard and I asked you, if you were planning this, and you said I would have brought my hat if you'd done so. Where's your hat today?
My hat. It's actually sitting on my desk.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Barnaby.
Thanks, Barnaby.